All right, so my name is Franciszek Ferencik, and I'm going to provide you guidance through the lab of deployment of modern cloud architecture on top of the VCF, VMware Cloud Foundation Automation. So what we are talking here about is kind of setup where we have demand to deliver cloud native applications, modern applications based on Kubernetes declarative approach. And so what we have on the backend, we have vSphere, vCenter, and cluster object comprised of multiple hypervisors. And then on top of that, we have a so-called supervisor construct, which is the specifically crafted Kubernetes control plane cluster utilized to deploy cloud native containerized applications, so containers, pods of Kubernetes architecture. Then also construct of virtual machines is delivered now via the control plane of supervisor cluster usage, where then we are talking about some kind of layered approach. And on top of the supervisor, we have something which is called region as a construct used for a consumption of backend architecture of vSphere computation plus then we are talking about software-defined storage. And then on top of that, we have a construct of organization, which is going from the set of concepts in automation of VCF, when an organization is simply utilizing backend set of resources via region object. Yeah, so then we can have multi-tenancy here, and then this multi-tenancy is exactly about organization. So organization could be branch office, it could be acquired organization, it could be some kind of division of company, so on and so forth. It could be potentially also some kind of project related distinction. Then on top of this organizational kind of distinction of resources, then we have something which is called then kind of project. So that means that really this is a way like how to consume backend system from the perspective of some kind of user developer or site reliability engineer, which is utilizing cloud native architecture. So this is really a crucial, important change or new concept of VMware, delivering a really nice way of consuming and utilizing backend infrastructure in the way how we are used for it from public cloud, for example. So here we can see also concept of vSphere namespaces, which is the thing related to supervisor construct. So that means Kubernetes integrated into the vSphere VMware virtualization, where vSphere namespace is really a kind of pool of resources to be allocated for a particular project. Yeah, so then vSphere namespace also has some kind of quotas, limits, settings for specific definitions of objects. Yeah, so VPC is a virtual private data center, virtual private cloud, is then really that crucial concept aligned with project, which is, and that's really important, going also into the software-defined networking platform of VMware, which is the product called NSX. Yeah, so then a project really is providing multi-tenancy and alignment and consumption interfacing to make it much more straightforward and much more convenient to utilize software-defined networking from the perspective of consumer. Yeah, so this is a really, really important kind of change here in overall platform approach in favor of kind of user experience to be really straightforward. So let's go for lab itself. So we will go for some kind of deployment of cloud native construct. Yeah, so let's just go for it, and we will provision Kubernetes cluster using automation interfacing of VMware Cloud Foundation. Right, so let's check it out here. So we are going into, basically we are on a part of the VMware Cloud Foundation which is called automation. So that means we have really overview of projects. Yeah, so we can see some kind of apps project from storage, memory, CPU perspective, and then based on also kind of namespacing in supervisor cluster of Kubernetes integration into the vSphere. Yeah, so you can see then some kind of nice overview. So then we have build, manage, orchestrated, and administer parts or tabs. So let's go for build and deploy and Kubernetes. So we are going to create a new construct here. Yeah, so we'll go for a creation process where we can see, and it's interesting, on the left side, something which is more aligned with traditional approach to create construct of, for example, virtual machine via Wizard. Yeah, so this is something which we can see here. On the right side, then we can see automatically generated YAML, which is the format used typically for Kubernetes. Yeah, so we can see nicely that there is a usage of specifically crafted API as Kubernetes is a set of APIs, which is really specific to a life cycling of creation process and generally life cycling of Kubernetes clusters, which are going to be created via the specific supervisor, so-called supervisor Kubernetes cluster. Yeah, so really Kubernetes is used for a creation of Kubernetes clusters. That's the idea. Yeah, so and not only that, also this supervised Kubernetes cluster of VCF architecture is also used now these days for creation of virtual machines. Yeah, so that's also the case, which is really a major shift in the history of VMware virtualization, when we now are going into the Kubernetes architecture to create regular virtual machines. Yeah, with the usage of a declarative approach, YAML-based recipes, like we can see here. So in this case, This is specifically crafted so-called cluster API of Kubernetes extension, where we are declaring cluster. So that means we are going to create Kubernetes cluster with so-called cluster kind definition for supervisor cluster to create production usable conformant Kubernetes cluster. Yeah, so we will customize configuration. We will see then on the right side how it will just create that kind of YAML declaration to be reusable later potentially. Yeah, so let's just go for it. So we have some kind of set of settings here. All right, so we can just leave the name, version. So we can leave basically all those things. We can see that we have a kind of option to change version, which now is the latest available here, 132. Yeah, and we can also label those Kubernetes clusters. Yeah, so then to work with them later for upgrade procedures, to select, make some selection of those clusters which we would like to upgrade, for example, or to do some specific tasks. Yeah, we can also add volumes, specifically crafted persistent volume claims with the usage of particular storage class. So that means storage mapped from vSphere to specific so-called storage class, which is the definition of Kubernetes for storage handling. Yeah, so a bunch of other custom options like CIDR for pods services internally. Yeah, so we can see there are 192, 68, 168, 156 CIDR for pods, which is internal again. Yeah, so then we will work with, of course, external load balancer to expose services for external access. Yeah, so storage class could be then selected if in case we have multiple storage classes. So that means multiple storages or data stores mapped then for a particular deployment of Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so we can see it's also generated into the YAML, storage class, and best effort small, which is now the selection here for a definition of class for those machines. And in this case, for control plane virtual machines of that particular Kubernetes cluster. So we'll go for best effort, which is unreserved set of resources for this specific virtual machine, which is going to be used as a control plane for Kubernetes cluster. Yeah, so we can leave OS image. In this case, it's VMware Photon OS, yeah, which is going to be used. All right. So this is the control plane, and then node pool. So that means definition for worker nodes of Kubernetes cluster. So we will just add node pool. And we can see default is one replica, so that means one worker node will be created with this kind of VM class here, best effort small, storage class, vSAN definition, so vSAN software defined storage is going to be used, and OS image for this deployment of worker. All right. So that's it, and we can just see how it will work now. So basically, here we can check it out. Okay, so one thing to just finish here is here, and that's the thing. Yeah, so this YAML, of course, could be reusable or could be reused later. And here this is visible in a namespace apps project. There is a process of, so we can see NS project PBDJ2, which is this one here in vSphere in workload domain. So that means that part of VCF, VMware Cloud Foundation, which is taking care about runtime of applications. So we can see that cluster is in the process of deployment. So we can see one control plane and one worker. Deployed. And then, of course, what one needs to connect to infrastructure to work with Kubernetes is a kubeconfig file. So this is a configuration file with token and then to be used with so-called kubectl command line to access Kubernetes architecture. So here this visible what's going on there. So scalability is set on for one replica. Yeah, so Okay, so here you can see that there is a 6443 port of Kubernetes architecture to be allowed via the token. All right. So right. Okay, so that's it. Bye bye.